Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be taking a first look at the Aerostar 600 by A2A Simulations. Now A2A is kind of fun for me because it's in the state of Connecticut, which is great. I have met the lead developers as well as their son because of course the interesting thing there was I lived in Connecticut, I worked at the New England Air Museum, I got an opportunity to meet a lot of those kind of folks. So it's pretty wild to think that this aircraft is at the airport in my state, and I just think it's kind of neat kind of a thing. Always good to support local, I guess is the way to describe it. So when I say I have no experience with this plane, that's not an exaggeration. I'm basically just going by feel here, and it's kind of wild because I'm sort of curious as to like the different stuff that's in here. One of the things I will add is that this is definitely a beta version, so there could be things in here that don't work. There could be things that don't work the way I expect them to. There's a lot of that kind of thing going on here. Let's go try the door handle here and just kind of give it a crack. So what do we know about the Aerostar? I had to do a little bit of poking around to try to find some information about it. Wow, I just got teleported over here. And the things I found out about it is basically very high wing loading. It's designed for 6. It really only ever had 4. We should be able to take out the back seats kind of a thing. It is a very, very responsive airplane. And it probably has one of the world's most dangerous fuel systems. But we'll kind of get there when we get there kind of a thing. Right now, like I said, just kind of walking around, taking a look at the different components here. Let's go pop the oil out here. Come on, get out. Oh, neat. You can actually see the amount, unlike in Flight Sim, where it just says, looks good. It's a little less than 9 quarts. That's not bad. Stick that in there, kind of a thing like that. Unfortunately, we have no documentation on this airplane yet. So we're definitely going to be using the Think system, if I want to quote the Music Man there. It's kind of that sort of thing. Go check this engine, too. I'm kind of curious. That being an A2A product, I expect kind of a lot of shenanigans. I mean, I've been very, very spoiled lately on some of the offerings from Black Square, so I'm kind of curious to see how the two companies compare. And we've got about the same amount of oil in that one, a little less than 9 quarts, which looks pretty good to me. Go ahead and slam that closed. Looks good. And like again, a lot of times you pop the cowling open and there's a lot of little things you check, especially knowing that this is supposed to be very accurately simulated. And like I mentioned, this is definitely a beta version. This is version 0.9, I think, for those of you who are watching this later. I'm kind of scared to like do any real videos on it because, like I said, I don't want to run into like a boo-boo or something and cause issues. Oh, cool. We can pop this open real quick. I guess that's my way of looking to see if there's fuel in there. I can see there's fuel in there. It looks good to me. Oh, we can open up the door here. The cabin classic. Yeah, nothing going on in the back, which is perfectly fine. Just slam that closed real quick. I like the fact that they got the little fuel gauges. Oh, look at that. We can actually visually confirm it. One of these days, they're going to give you a little stick that you can stick in there, and you can actually measure how much fuel you have. So we've got plenty of fuel. Let's go ahead and climb inside here. All right. Getting into this thing, you can definitely tell this kind of a... Oh, don't you do that to me. You can definitely tell kind of what year and sort of a thing is just kind of climbing around in this thing. The super short version, from what I was able to kind of determine here, is this is basically a late 60s plane that Piper bought, and they just kept adding to, and this is a much later version of it. All right, switches. We've definitely got some kind of retro switches here. I love that kind of stuff. There's the incredibly dangerous. It uses an electric fuel valve. You realize how dangerous that is. If we lose electricity, you can't turn fuel on or off. Oh, what's this? Nope, we're good. Safe. All right, good. Just wanted to take a look at that. Looks good to me. All right, so I'm a little nervous about this plane. Like I said, it is an A2A, so you definitely can't get away with the usual shenanigans. We're going to have to kind of do it the hard way. All right, so theoretically, we should have a there it is. We do have a tablet here. We'll go ahead and open this up. Flight info. Looks like we've got some wind stuff here. I appreciate the altimeter setting. I can just set that right now. We've got some aircraft details. We've got some checklists, emergencies. Looks good. Let's see what they have under controls. Parking brake, wheel... Oh, I left the tie down on. Oh, thank you. You added a tie down. That makes me feel so much more authentic here. I know that sounds kind of funny. All right, let's go back here now. Fiddle with the tie down. All right, here. Let's see. This is interesting. A lot of aircrafts disregard the tie down. The tie down is one of those obnoxious things that you always have. All right, parking brake is set. Headphone simulation. I like that. Oh, that's nice. But that makes it a little bit quieter. Let's see here. We have an engine heater if we need it. We get the autopilot control. We have cold and dark, which is already set. A lot of these settings have all been done. The steering. Check this out for steering. So the steering on this aircraft, if I recall correctly, is you had a switch here, and what you would do is you click and drag it. Obviously not the real world. You hit it with your hand, and that would turn the nose wheel as opposed to using your pedals. I'm assuming realistic steering makes it so I have to use that button, which would be extremely obnoxious. I don't even want to know. Realistic parking brake, I'm going to shut that off. That doesn't bother me. Tablet volume, metric air pressure, that looks fine to me. Oh, GPS options. Well, this is nice, but the correct option would be, in my opinion, the KLN90. I love the KLN90. I've done many videos on it in the past because it's just so cool. It's just a beast. But of course, we got the GTN 750, which is not a bad choice either. This is a very sophisticated GPS. It would do a really nice job for us. And of course, you got some of the defaults in here, but like, why would I not use the KLN 90? Doesn't make sense. Let's see, with fuel, we got, oh, looks like we could add some gas to the fuselage here. Looks good. Power loading, okay, so center of gravity. I guess this, I'm just going to push that. I don't know. Oh, speaking of that, looks good. I got somebody sitting there. I'll put somebody sitting there. Okay, that's imaginary. That's perfectly fine. It's a little heavier than the planes I usually fly. Oh, maintenance. Look at this. Inspect. Oh, inspect. Oh, let's see here. We got some really good compression in that cylinder 4 there. Let's go take a look here. We got some really good compression in cylinder 2. That's interesting. It looks like we can change the style of spark plugs. We can clean the spark plugs. We can put a fuel additive in it. Oh, that's so cool. Definitely going to need a manual. This is the engine analyzer. I've worked with A2A before. This looks familiar. Electrical system, you can see I've got a perfectly good battery, but apparently it is draining, or well, I don't know if it's draining or not, but it seems to kind of have that kind of a component. I'm not going to worry about that too much. There's our engine, everything's good. You can see it has 0 hours on everything on this thing. So like I said, I've not fiddled with this very much at all, so we'll have to see what we can do. I'm going to go ahead and pop this out into another window just to make it a little bit easier to run through the checklists here. All right, before engines start, here we go. Pre-flight complete. Passengers briefed, seatbelts secured. Click. Of course, let me see. Does it have the obnoxious safety belt? Does it have one of the nice easy ones? Yep, it's got a nice easy one. It actually pulls out of the side. Nice. Seatbelt's good. Cabin door is secure and locked. Looks good to me. Battery condition is in the off. I think that, yeah, right there. Let's see here. Our gear switch should be down. All right, check that. Looks good. We're going to make sure flaps are in the up position. Oh, it's one of those. Oh, that's obnoxious. At least it's long, so it's easy to get. So we can hit that one to the up position there. Brakes, what? Brakes should be test for firm. Okay. Feels good to me. Good. Flight control should be free and clear. I'll give that a quick little wiggle. Looks good to me. We're going to, let's see here. Switches are all off, I think. Looks good. Battery needs to be turned on. Battery coming on. Gear lock lights should be all green, which they are. Elevator trim should be neutral. Oh, look at that. That's different. It's like a little, is that electric? It is electric. Oh, that's interesting. That is interesting. That is interesting. All right, elevator hydraulic shutoff should be open. I assume this is the hydraulic shutoff. It's open. Fuel check. Let's see here. I believe we have plenty of fuel on board. We do. Let's see here. We're going to check low fuel warning. Looks good. Looks good. Let's see, circuit breakers should be in. I believe the circuit breakers are not modeled yet. Doing a quick check, Circuit breakers are not modeled yet. Good. Let's see here. Circuit breakers are in, altimeter and clock. Let's see here. It looks good to me. And we'll go ahead and pop the battery off. Uh-oh. Let's see, is this correct? Let me see here. We're facing roughly 100 degrees. Oh, my goodness. We're going to be one of those developers. Nice. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Let's see here. Can go like that. Okay, so if I right-click, it gives me the ability. Oh, so you right-click. I was right. All right, I'll put that in there somewhere. It looks like we do have a DG slave here, but I'm sure we need avionics working for that to actually work. Cool. I like that. All right, so keep going here to our little list. Altimeter and clock. We're just supposed to confirm that. Looks about right. About 10:30 in the morning. All right, let's do some engine starts. So propeller handles are 4. Oh, they're responsive. Nice. All right, mixture should be idle cutoff, which they are. Throttle should be cracked. I'm going to push the throttle about that far. Looks good to me. All right, battery on. So battery is on. Let's see here, low fuel warning. There's no warning light, correct. Fuel selector, cycle, and listen. Apparently I got to listen. All right, sounds like it's working. All right, right fuel boost comes to the on. Okay, let's read. Right fuel boost on, right mixture full off, and then right starter. And the engine should be fired. Oh, okay, so we're starting. This is fuel injected, so we got to do fuel injected technique here. All right, so we're going to go toss the fuel boost on, and you can see our fuel pressure came up, but that doesn't mean we've actually done anything yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the mixture. I'm going to stick this forward. This is going to be a primer, essentially, so I'll probably do about 2 seconds prime. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, off. And that's going to go ahead and prime our engines, I believe. Again, depending on how they actually model this, it could be a little different how it's going to go. So we're supposed to engage the right starter. We can't do that yet, though, because we haven't turned on our bacon light. We have also not confirmed that nobody's around us. All right, we're good to go. So the starting on this, we're waiting for it to catch. When it catches, what we're supposed to do is usually push the mixture all the way forward. Let's give it a try. I got to listen carefully here. Wow, that was obnoxious. Interesting, interesting, interesting. That caught pretty well. We'll go ahead and try the other one. Do we need the fuel boost pump off? Fuel boost pump comes off. Okay, after we're done. All right, so that should not kill the engine there. All right, good. Interesting, interesting. So we'll go ahead and try that again on this side. I'm actually going to give it a lot more throttle this time when we go to prime it. We should get fuel pressure, which we do. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, off. Go ahead and put the throttle back where it was. All right, we'll go ahead and see what happens when we try this one. I got to switch on my thing to make this a little bit easier for me. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's see what happens. All right, we're just cranking that thing. Okay. Obnoxious. Obnoxious. All right, that's what I expected. I knew this was going to be challenging. All right, let's see what we can find out here. And again, we have to get the actual technique here. Engines. Let's see here. What engine is being goofy right now? Engine analyzer. Okay, here. So I'm guessing red means fuel. I'm guessing the other one. So we're over-primed right now on that side. Okay, we can deal with that. Let's go ahead and crank that, and we'll go ahead and hit it. Gotcha. Overprimed. Overprimed. Nice. Oh, that was handy. Yep, overprimed. Overprimed. All right, that's good. That's good. That's good. Neat. Oh, man, that's a pain in the butt. Can't wait to have to deal with that in a video. All right. Sorry, engines. Sorry, engines. All right, we'll go ahead and get that to neutral. I like how the two engines are at 2 different speeds here. Let's go ahead and lean everything out because we did just start everybody up. That switch should come off. Put that to about half. Get our alternators going. And we're good to go ahead and continue with the checklist. I knew that was going to be a pain in the butt. I didn't realize it was going to be like that. Definitely got to fiddle with it a little bit. Kind of get the right feel for it. And again, that's what I like about these airplanes. Airplane engines are a pain in the butt to start. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you are. They're never fun to start. All right. So that's set. You can see you got one engine actually is running a slightly higher pressure than the other, which is kind of funny because they're at the same throttle position. That just gives you an idea of how accurate they modeled the fact they didn't start at the same time. All right, let's take a look. We're going to repeat that. We did that. Warm up and run up. All right, let's get the party started. So that's good to go. We just need to find switches here. Switches, 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 switches. Ah, here it is. Avionics. Oh, you're going to be one of those developers. I was saying that's a bad thing. Go ahead and crank that. Hello. Usually this is the one you crank. There it goes. All right, let's see if we get this one going. Nice. I like. Let's go over here. The Collins DME. Pop that on. Get our Sentry Autopilot booted up. I know this one. This one's easy. It looks like we're currently using GPS. Okay, interesting. Nav GPS. This is interesting. I've never seen that button before. Not 100%. It's going to sound silly. I'm not 100% sure what that is. I'm definitely going to have to fiddle with that myself to kind of understand it. Hopefully I didn't just hook the GPS or anything like that. All right. Like I said, still learning. This is literally my first time out on this plane. 2984. So I can do this part, though. This part I can do. All right, we're going to do 298. We're going to set this one to 4. We're going to come down here. Like I said, it's nice that we have a KLN 90. Something I know something about. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. We should be in leg mode. Where's my beep, 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 beeps? All right, that looks good to me. We can go flip this over to nav. There's no reason to use. Oh, I can't believe they're giving us a KLN 90. Honestly, this is like worth the price of admission for me. I'm just such a newbie as far as that goes. All right, we got a couple different things there. Nice. We're getting some MSG here. Let's see what the MSG is about. MSG, last position. I would expect that. We got a flag. That's the reason we have a flag is because we haven't told that we're going anywhere, which is fine for me. Actually, let's go somewhere. We'll come down here again. We'll just kind of fiddle with this. Cursor mode. Oh, why did I do that? Everybody kind of has a different way they implemented this aircraft, or the different way that they've implemented the KLN 90 here. So whenever you fiddle with these things, you just kind of at the mercy of trying to figure out what they did. And like I said, it's part of the fun here. We'll go press Alpha. This will be Foxtrot as well. Alpha, Delta, Foxtrot. That looks good to me. I'm going to go over here and press Enter. This is where you want to go. This is where I want to go. Looks good to me. I'm going to go ahead and flip this over to Nav 5. Looks good to me. We'll do cursor. I like to do heading up if I can. Track. Okay, it's an interesting implementation of it. That's fine. I like that. And you can see about 29 miles. It shouldn't take us long here to go. All right, let's see what else we need to do. So one thing I need to worry about is this gyro, which I really appreciate the fact that it's way off. And let me see here. Looking at our compass, that'd be 90, that'd be 100, 110-ish. Yeah, basically okay. So our gyro has caught up to us. So I'll flip on this. I love the clickiness, and I love these displays, how they're like kind of ugly looking. That is just so cool. All right, fill, yes, no. I'm just going to say step. Cool. So now we've got our engine monitor going here. I've got plenty of experience with one of these. Miles per gallon. There we go. I like to leave it on this page and just kind of cycles. And I love the fact that my right cylinder is still a little warmer than the other one because it's been running longer, and you can actually see how the oil temperatures are different. See, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. That's good design here. All right, let's see what we need to do now. Throttle's good, prop is good. We should probably do our warm-up, but we'll go to the end of the runway first. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of takeoff flaps here. That is so old school. I love that. All right, let's go ahead. Oh, we still have an MSG warning. What? Of course, should be 27 degrees. Fine. I'll set it to 27 degrees because you asked. All right, MSG should go away now. That looks pretty good to me, and you can see we are on course. All right, release the brake. Let's see if it wants to jump. Oh, it's got places to go. Oh, I don't know that I like that steering. Oh, see, I like that. That's got that nice, like, hesitation to it. But that hesitation, I promise you, is going to make the takeoff on this the worst takeoff I've done, at least today. It's the only takeoff I've done today, but that's a different issue. Yeah, it's got that, because it doesn't have that real steering on it, it's a little like this. Oh, what is that? And I like how it's got that auto trim on there. I wonder what the deal with that is, but again, something I'll find out later on. All right, a little bit of brakes. Okay, I like that. I like that. Okay, the brakes they're pretty good. Pretty good. Every once in a while it makes like a lot of funk noise, like when I hit something on the ground, which is kind of funny. This is exactly what it's like in the real world. Oh, I don't like that. Uh-oh. I wonder if they're going to change that later. So I'm noticing it's hypersensitive to yaw. That could be bad for us, but we'll find out. All right. Just going to gently do one of these. Oh, that nose wheel. Oh, that's going to kill us on takeoff here. All right, this is an AccuSim, so I want to really be careful here as far as procedures. All right, warm up is 1,000 revolutions per minute. We've already done that. We've been warming up this whole time. Everything looks good. So we're going to do rich mixture. We're going to make sure the propeller's all the way forward. Mixture is going to go to rich. And now we're going to do 1,500 RPM, and then we're just going to run through for different options and kind of do everything. Okay, so first of all, throttle 1,500, and then we're going to do the usual engine instrument business. Am I moving? I always get really nervous about that. There we go. 1,500. Let's try it. Look at that. The two RPMs didn't come down equally. That's so realistic. Oh, that is so realistic. It's offensive. I love that. All right, now we're supposed to bring the power down to, what does it say here? 20. Oh, we got to go high. All right, here we go. Cycle the prop. Yeah, it doesn't make the wisp noise, but I'll allow it. All right, idle. Wow, it gets very quiet in here. All right, back up to 1,000. I can see I've already done damage to one of the engines. Oh, well. All right, engine cylinders, everything is in the greens. P's and T's are in the greens. All right, fantastic. So for takeoff, we're supposed to do a fuel boost on. We're going to get our landing light on. That's handy. And now we're just going to kind of taxi into the runway here. All right, last set of idiot checks. Lights, camera, and action. All right, check our mixtures, check our propellers. Okay, this will be interesting. This will be interesting. All right, got to remember the steering on this thing is going to be very hypersensitive. So that's full deflection steering right there. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, I do not like that. Ease in the brake. Oh, I like the squeak of the brakes. I'll take it. All right, let's see here. Before takeoff, I'm going to go ahead and make sure everything's good. Again, I have no idea what to expect with this plane. We'll see what happens. I have a feeling whatever it is going to happen really quickly. All right, RPM is full. We're good to go. Flaps are good to go. All right, here we go. Kind of like to let the governor catch. Oh, that's loud. Turn my own volume down. Oh, that is sensitive. Oh, I don't like that. I do not like that. That nose wheel is ultra sensitive. There's 85 knots. Let's pull back. Gosh, this thing's got places to be. Oh my goodness. Okay, I was not expecting a rocket. I was expecting, 1960s twin-engine plane. Gosh, this thing's got places to be. All right, bring up the flaps. Flaps are good. Gears up. We're good to go. Landing lights coming off. And I think, let me see what we have for takeoff. After takeoff, wheels up, gears up, all flaps up. Climb, maximum climb is 122. I got to pull the nose up a little bit. And the other thing it said is that we need to use 24 and 24. Sounds good to me. It doesn't surprise me we need to reduce power for climb. That's pretty much universal in something constant speed. 24, and we got to come back in the RPM. Try to do the best I can here. Like I said, trying to learn the plane as I fly it. I like how the tachometer is not even. Like it just kind of jerks around. That is so accurate. It's offensive. I love it. All right, here. I don't want to try the autopilot, but I do want to flip the flight director to nav because it's just kind of irritating. Okay, so a couple things I'm noticing immediately. Like I was mentioning before with the rudder being really sensitive, it's disgusting. And the ailerons are so crisp. Oh my goodness, that's crisp. Here, watch this. Oh my goodness. They're actually responsive. That's so good. Okay, all right, that put a smile on my face. I did not realize that was going to be quite that user-friendly. So I'm getting about 1,000 feet per minute right now, which is awesome. More than that, about 1,200 feet per minute. And I'm not at 122 anymore. Go ahead and hit the automatic pilot and see what it wants to do. It's coming down. I want it to go back up, though. So I'm going to give it a couple clicks of pitch here. 15 degrees command. Now I want 7 degrees. Give me 7, please. 8. We'll do 8. Fine, 8. All right, so we are on automatic pilot there. There's no altitude alerter on this thing, which is interesting. But again, depending on what generation of this thing is going to have a big impact on that. This is okay. This is okay so far. This is okay for so far. Okay, BAF, or TAC. I need to get the frequency on that because we might as well fiddle around while we're kind of cruising around here, right? All right, so BAF for TAC. I always need to look up the frequency, even though it's like one of those things I use all the time. I always forget the number for it. 113.0. All right, let's see if this works too. So we'll come over to here, dial in 113, 0. Actually, we'll do it on the bottom one so we can track it either side and see if it works. 0. DME, that's fine for me. Yeah, the DME works 23.2. Should be pretty close to this. Yeah, about 22.8. Impressive. So at 8 degrees, by the way, you can see we're still getting about a 165, which is incredible. That's moving. I'm taking a look at that gyro there. I'm a little nervous. I'm sort of curious as to what this does. Like, I don't know what this does. As weird as it sounds. Like I said, I've not read the manual on this one, so I'm kind of learning as I go. So I noticed the trim is the trim fighting the autopilot. That's what I'd want to see. It does not look like it, but it did pitch trim down a little tiny bit when I hit that button, so I'm not sure what that did. All right, we're good here. We're good here. We can pop off the fuel boosts because we're climbing smoothly. We are awesome. Gosh, this thing has places to be, and it looks like it leveled ourselves off at 3,000 feet here. I did not say to level off at 3,000 feet, but I guess we're holding 3,000 feet now. It still says attitude hold. I'm not going to worry about it. Just going to pop on altitude hold now, and we'll see what we can get as far as the top speed of this thing goes. Gosh, this thing is fast. That's a little, I'm not going to lie, it's a little disconcerting. Let me see if we come back here if it's louder. Kind of. You want to hear something really obnoxious? Listen to this. Hee. Now it's all quiet. Isn't that nice? I guess we'll leave that in for a while because I do appreciate a little bit of quietness. So, all right, while we're cruising around here, because we're only going to be going for a few minutes here, I can see that the temperature looks good here. We'll go take a look at our cylinders. We always say that one cylinder, that's kind of the lazy cylinder. That is just so realistic. 329, 329, 316. Oh, gosh, why are those cylinders so much hotter? They're always the hot ones. Now, let's see here. 5 and 6. Cylinder 5 and cylinder 6 is 368, 367, respectively. And I can still see that our two engines are not responding the same way. If you look carefully here, you can see one engine slightly different than the other engine, which is insanely authentic. All right, let's see. Go ahead and set cruise. What are we supposed to do for cruise power? Mixtures, power set, mixture as required. We have nothing ready yet, so we can't set any of those things. It's kind of a bummer, but like I said, it's such a short flight today, so we don't really know what we need to do. Again, I'm looking at the airport we're going to right there. All right, that's fabulous. That's fabulous. Let's see what airport runway they're using over at Barnes today. All right, nearest airport approach. We're interested in Kabaf. Okay, Bath, farther from you. Again, I really wish this just worked better. They've been doing this for the longest time, and it should just be one of those things where, you just push one button and it recognizes what you need. Yes, because Waisaki Field is definitely where I'm going to be flying to. Ah! You saw it. You saw it. All right, let's see if we can do that again. Again, this thing is so fast, it's just ripping past all these airports. What it should do is it should freeze. I just saw it go by. It's hard for Brainerd. We're actually pretty far away from that. Let's see. I'm looking at my window here. You are going to give me the thing that I like, right? Let's see. Bristol Hospital, Westover. That's even farther away. What it probably did is it probably jumped to a page that it didn't see. Let's see. Hartford, that's a lot farther. Closer to me, like I said. Oh, there's Barnes. Hello, Barnes. What are we doing today for landing? Let's find out.
Tower Red 64 is 1 tree mile south, 3,000 feet, with Foxtrot to land.
We gotta start descending if it's runway 2. Or 5, I think. 2-0. Okay. Oh, it's quiet. Oh, so the volume is a thing.
Left traffic runway 20, Red 64.
Oh, I like that. I like that. All right, we're doing a left traffic for 20. All right, so 20 is pretty easy, but we need to descend. And like, I'm kind of terrified of descending this thing, and I have no idea what its approach speed is. We can probably work it out. So 80, so 8 and 3 is 24 knots. 24 knots would be about 104. So that gets us about a 104 landing speed, which is pretty good. That sounds right. All right, let's see what happens when we try to make this thing descend. Go ahead and release the automatic pilot there. Oh, it's stiff. Oh, I like that. Go ahead and pull the power back to about 20 inches. I'm just going to push the nose over. Oh, it's... Okay, so that must be that auto trim. Yes, that is the auto trim. So I just pushed the nose down and I did not touch the trim. So if I go like this and I let go, is that going to kick in that auto trim? Pick up a little bit and let go. No, that wasn't the auto trim. It is just very, very, very stiff at this speed. It's kind of what I would expect. And I can see here that we're coming down at 190 knots. I think that's enough to enter the air traffic pattern here. Push it just a little bit further down. Oh my goodness, that's angry. That's angry. That's very angry. And again, I'm not sure what that auto trim does. I'm definitely gonna have to look that one up a little bit later on. All right, fuselage tank is at 36. Our wings here, we're not sucking anything out of them yet. I believe we can set it so we can suck out of the wings directly. Gosh, this thing is a rocket. And again, I can go do like the Beach Duke if I need a rocket, but man, this thing is just like, I feel like I'm very hands-on. That's the best way to describe it. I'm gonna go about 200 knots descent speed. That's definitely a traffic pattern entry speed. Let's see here. Our cylinder on that side, we're at 249 for my hot cylinder. That's fine. As long as we keep it over 300, it doesn't matter. There we go. Gosh, this thing is ridiculous. There we go. Come swing this way. That looks good to me. Oh, I love that. The fun thing is one of the planes I get to fly once in a while is Mooney 20, as I've said before on this channel. And when you fly that plane, and the first time you try to move the yoke at high speed, it's going to move you and not the yoke, is the best way to describe it. It's just kind of one of those things. All right, enjoying our nice little descent here. Looking out the window. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Again, that's wrong runway there. It's 2. We need 20. Man, this thing is crazy. What is our approach speeds here? I need to see what our gear speeds are and stuff like that. We get 157 for gear, and we get 20 degrees at 175. That's awesome. Man, that's awesome. I like that. I can work with that. Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's a lot. That's a lot. So I got 175 for 2 clicks of flaps there. I got to pull flat power back here. We're going to have to do everybody's favorite little bump maneuver here. Just kind of enjoy the pattern. Oh, I did not slow down nearly soon enough. Ah, that was sloppy on my part. Because now I need to slow down. I wonder if you could slip this thing at 180 knots. I think that's got to be safe, right? Don't argue with results. All right, according to that, 175 is we get 2 clicks of flaps there. So we'll go ahead and get that down to 20. And we get flaps at 157. Oh, or gears, I should say, at 157. And there's our left downwind. Gosh. Whoa, those are good. Whoa, those landing gear are incredible. Okay, I did not expect this thing to suddenly give up 40 knots like that. Give us a little bit of power. The temperature for the hot cylinder is still 344, so we're doing fine here. We haven't broken any rules here. All right, doing our little left downwind for 20. Gosh, this thing is just like, I just want to spend an hour just trying to learn how to get it started.
Wind tree 0 tree at 12. Clear to land runway 20.
Clear 20.
Clear Clear to land runway 20, red 64.
All right, we'll get the flaps down the rest of the way. I'm very curious to see what this does to us. Oh, man, I love these old school flaps. They're so wrong. Oh, my goodness. Getting thrown through the front windshield like that. All right, looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. All right, we'll come swing to the left here. Oh, now the controls are just like, what are you trying to do to me? Like, I appreciate the window here, but again, I'm not doing a steep turn, so I don't need to look at it. Okay, this is, okay, a couple comments right away. And again, like I said, this is literally the first time I've ever flown this. I'm very, very impressed by, its controls are very harmonized, if that makes sense. Like, it's very crisp. Like, I don't feel like I'm fighting the controls. I feel like I'm just using them the way that feels natural to me. And I really appreciate that in an airplane. There we go, come to final here. And, oh, that is too much rudder. Gosh, this thing is just like, it's hard to explain. It just needs a lot less rudder than I'm used to. All right, come final. That was actually pretty good. Speeds basically were right at what we calculated. We got about 110. White over red. It's about, like I said, about 104. We said the wind was a 300, so it's coming out of our right here. So go ahead and give it a little bit of crosswind correction. All right, there's our crosswind correction. Yeah, we got real world weather on today. Use power a little bit. That's 104. That was our calculated. A bit more right wing. That looks good to me. You know, we could have used the 2.9er, by the way, Tower. You didn't have to put me on 2.0. All right, let's see what this thing's like on a landing. Oh, it gets heavy. It gets heavy. Oh. Oh. Oh, I'll take it. I will take it. Whoa, I forgot about the stupid wheel. Okay, using the brakes.
Red.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Lights off. Okay. I'm trying to think of what I want to say here. This thing's cool. It's extremely responsive, and I like responsive airplanes. Like, there's anything that I like in controls, I like controls that are almost touchy. By the way, there's a really neat restaurant here called Tobico, and it's right there in that building. So we'll go get some lunch, and we'll talk down. So a couple things. First of all, this was a beta version of this aircraft. Don't have the exhaustive documentation that I was expecting, and we'll probably get a little later on. Like I said, I'll probably do a whole video series on this. This thing's so cool. I'm exiting. Give me a break. What is it? 1.6 or 9.6? Oh, 125, 075. Well, it's been a while since I've flown up to Barnes. Contact ground.
125.075 for red 64.
All right.
Information Foxtrot 1500 Zulu.
What? Something's broken. As a matter of fact, it's really broken.
Sky condition.
Hey, I'm going to assume they gave us clearance to taxi here. All right, cool. Give it a little bit of power. All right, I can't wait to see how much damage we did to the airplane here. Like I said, it's an AccuSim plane, so I expect that I probably did something wrong. I love the fact that my right engine's moving at different speeds than my left engine. And it's so authentic, it's hard to explain. All right, there's a lot of things I want to check. I want to check like the oils. It's like I've got a lot of learning to do on this one. But like I said, if you're looking for a plane that feels pretty complete, I think things like the circuit breakers aren't working, but without a lot of documentation, this is probably going to be your winner. And one thing I'm really interested about as I kind of bring ourselves to a little stop here is I want to see if the trim changed, because I didn't touch the trim during landing here. So it was minus 18, and with auto trim turned on, minus 18. Okay, so the trim did not have a big impact on it. All right, let's go treat this thing like it's the real thing. We'll go ahead. That's so authentic. Of course, I just hit the Avionics switch. I don't bother to sit here and crank all those knobs. You don't need to do that usually. All right, that's good to go. That's good to go. Engines are cooling off. Actually, the engine's still pretty warm. Like I said, I'm very curious to see how much damage I did to the engines during this flight today. We want to shut that off. We want to shut that off. We want to shut that off. And we want to shut that off, just like that. Come over here. We can put that to standby. That's good. We can go ahead and pop off the alternators. We can shut off our lights. Whoops. I left my landing light on. That's okay, though. And then the standard procedure is usually letting this thing cool off for a few minutes before just cranking it down. But looks okay to me. What's our cylinder head? Cylinder head's fine. Yeah, we'll be okay. And pull those two. These things should just come to a stop. And the whole thing should twist. It goes, yep. See how it did the little twist? That's completely 100% accurate. All right, we do not need to hit the starter, though. We need to pull that to the off position. Fuel's going to get turned off. Fuel's going to get turned off. Give it a moment because it is electric. We're going to shut off the bacon lights. We're going to shut off the master battery here. And man, not bad. Not bad. I've got a lot of learning to do on this plane, but good stuff. Enjoy.